Hey guys, what's going on? Check out this clip. This is Jared Mazza. He's a writer, and you would think that we recorded this interview just the other day based on what he's saying and the way the world is today, but we actually recorded this 3 years ago. The guy was ahead of his time. Check it.
In a world where we can't really determine what the truth is anymore. I mean, there was a time where the truth was attainable by everyone all the time, but nowadays, I mean, we live in a world where the media is intentionally being irresponsible. We live in a world where there is no such thing as honest reportage anymore. I mean, reportage, as far as I'm concerned, is essentially dead. Like, where are real journalists? Where are our best journalists? It used to be that we knew that the best journalists were working for the New York Times, or the best journalists were working for the Washington Post, and now we just live in a huge wave where everything is just buried beneath a realm of fake news, disinformation, misinformation, and we don't connect with our leaders. We don't connect as much with politics. We're just not interested. So there's like this massive pandemic of the disconnect that is happening just around the world, where people are just so disconnected from what matters because it's so easy to connect with something else. I mean, why ask questions if you're not interested in getting the answers? And I think that creative people, they're asking the questions that are important and that matter, but they're answering it in a different way than journalists are answering it. You know, journalists are looking for the facts and the information, but I think that writers, in this case, for me, writers, I think they're looking for the facts and the information, but they're trying to translate it in a way that appeals to people that are not interested. And we have a lot more responsibility, I think, as artists, because people will listen to us. You know, people might not read the New York Times, but they might read this story, or they might read information from this author. So, you know, the creative is important because it's filled with so many people who are trying to pursue what matters, which in this case, this specific case would be like what's true. And I don't think that they're pushing as much of an agenda as people think. I think they can be a lot more subjective, and they can be willing to hear a lot more of, you know, a lot of variation in people's opinions and voices, and I think they're open to that. There's no doubt about it that, you know, the industry is more liberal when it comes to creativity and art, but I think that there's this incredible amount of responsibilities now being put on artists' shoulders, where they're the only ones that are interested in these big questions, and they want to answer them, and they want to appeal to people who, you know, might be disconnected. So my favorite writers when I was growing up, or when I was confused, were people that weren't writing nonfiction. They were people that were writing fiction. And I think that films nowadays can really appeal to people because they can sort of tackle a lot of these big issues, and they can really provide information that is important and that matters. And we can connect with the creative. And if we connect with the creative, then maybe there will come a time, or there should be, where we're connecting with, you know, what's happening in the world, where we're interested in attaining more information. So the creative can be a great pathway to information.